Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Comic Shop Conversations with our special guest, Aaron, the El Beardo Magnifico, Sparrow. Thank you for being here with us tonight, man.
Okay, first of all, that is the most masculine opening I have ever seen. I am ready to go to war. Like, just put a sword in my hand. I am ready to go.
Isn't it so much like, I was like, okay, we have a fun intro. We have a pretty basic intro, which is just a time, like a clock, like ticking down. But then I was like, no, we need an intro that's like, what this show is about, and it's like all our favorite stories, all of our like favorite heroic masculine characters. I was like, that's what we need to go with now. So they are the true MVPs. But I agree, it gets me hyped up every time.
Yeah, no, I'm like totally hyped. It's like, it calls to the blood.
To our bloodline, all our ancestors. But I'm fully torqued over here, not just because of the intro, but because we also have Drew, aka Dolan, and Aaron, of course, here. But you guys are going to be sharing with us a little bit something special tonight that I'm very excited to talk about. And thank you guys for just being here tonight, because I know that you guys have done multiple different kind of press junkets for this on different YouTube channels, on different live streams. So I appreciate y'all sharing your experiences with this and how this came to be. But essentially tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about the new publishing company that you guys are now working for, called the Comic Mint, or TCM Press. Is that I'm getting that right? But yeah, I'm excited for you guys, and I just can't wait to share with the audience as well more about this. So we'll talk about that, and then afterwards, Drew and I and Aaron, you're more than welcome to stay. But we will be getting into some of this week's modern comics, notably Gail Simone's Uncanny X-Men, and then a little bit of Saladin Ahmed's Wolverine. So we'll be talking about those later on in the stream.
That's got to be worse, right? That's got to be demonstrably worse than Gail Simone's X-Men.
You know what? It's not. It's not
really
surprisingly.
Here. Okay, I'm gonna say this: if you want a G-rated Wolverine comic, if you want a neutered Wolverine, Saladin Ahmed's the guy for you.
Oh, I do want a neutered Wolverine written by a neutered writer.
Yeah,
he would not be able to handle that opening, Max.
Oh, absolutely not. He would say it's oppressive and get like anxious and get all stressed. He'd be like, oh, I don't know if I can watch this. Shout out to Josh McDonald. Last night he had you two on there on his show on Pop by Culture. Chat, you know him, you love him, Josh McDonald. You can find his link in the description below as well. But no, he had a great show last night with you guys talking about this very same thing. And so I'm excited to talk about y'all's assignments tonight. But no, I was going to say the Uncanny X-Men book. It's if you ever wanted to see your classic favorite X-Men heroes such as Gambit, Rogue, and Wolverine get demolished by a Zoomer mutant rebel force of a stuttering autistic girl, an Asian emo kid, and a woman who gets her powers from a horse, then Uncanny X-Men is the book for you. So.
How did you know? How did Gail know? That's what I've been yearning for. Those exact circumstances.
Yeah. And Wolverine getting decked across the face. I'll never forget that. He just gets decked right across the face and doesn't do a thing.
You know what I love about all this, though? Every single book that comes out now from Marvel and DC is just another thing for me to make fun of and kneel before Doomface. Like, there's so many things. I've got books and books of notes, and I'm like, I don't know where this fits in yet, but I'm doing this. Because it's just so, like, these books read like parodies, but not clever ones. Just awful. Awful.
It really is. Like, if you could surmise an example of what we would write in a comic if we were to parody these books, that's what they're actually doing. And they're doing it in all sincerity and seriousness. It's quite astonishing. So, and then I will mention this. I never really knew John Cassidy's work all that well, but yes, we did lose a really, really good one in the industry. So RIP John Cassidy. Towards the end there, I think with his covers and stuff, we were able to see that there was something going on But I had no idea. So definitely lost a good one. And did you guys know much of his work? I think he was on.
Yeah, he was on. I mean, the first time I really noticed him, I think, is when a lot of people noticed him. I mean, I've been seeing his work here and there, but like where he really kind of came into his own for me was on the Astonishing X-Men run with Joss Whedon. That's where I really and really started to enjoy his stuff. It's I mean, he's only 52 years old, and now we lost Carl. We lost Carl Malene today as well. 52 years old.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Jeez. And it's like I'm only a few years away from that. And so it's just like it's staggering because I feel like a young man. And when you see these guys, and it's like, that's really that, once upon a time that was older, but it's relatively young now. And to see these guys passing away and these legends, it's just it's really hard.
Yeah. Well, it definitely makes you think about, like you said, your own mortality a little bit, and the fact that tomorrow's promised to nobody. You have to, so make sure that whatever loved ones you have that maybe you haven't told them lately that they're important to you. Make sure that you do it, because you don't know what'll happen tomorrow with them or with you. Absolutely. But I also think about the legacy that they left behind and the beautiful work that they've done. I had no idea that John Cassidy was on Astonishing X-Men, and I love that series. So the fact that he's left such great history behind is something special. And I think for you guys, you have such great runs of comics that you guys have written or edited that I think y'all would be proud of, if anything were to happen. And I'm not saying there would be anything, but it speaks to the work that you guys have done here before we leave. So, but speaking of the work that you guys have done, let's get right into this new comic book publishing company. Now, Drew, I think you spoke a little bit about it last night, but how did the Comic Mint come to be? Because I think the creator of this originally was in variant covers. Is that correct?
Well, he still is. So this is the Comic Mint. The Comic Mint is owned by Stephen Finkel, and he wanted to get into the publishing game back in April. And the first title was going to be Silent Nights. He and Taitague de Silva reached out to me one day in April. It was a very, very rough day. I mentioned it last night. My good friend and coworker had just shot himself, committed suicide. And I get called later in that afternoon on the way home from Taitague asking if I'd be interested in this assignment of writing for him and Steve. And I'm like, what is going on today? I don't even know how to flip and feel at this point.
I remember you called me and you were like, I don't know how to feel right now. And I was like, whoa, what's going on? And Drew's like telling me everything that's going on with him. And I'm like, I mean, my condolences, but also congratulations. Like at the same time, you wouldn't know how to feel.
Yeah. It is such a juxtaposition between like the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, really. So, yeah.
Yeah. And so I had a great call with them afterwards. They said what they wanted to do. Taitague said and Stephen said it's going to be a femme fatale type book. Incorporate some elements of artificial intelligence, robots, but some espionage. And they said, all right, how quickly can you think you can have a script done in like a month or so? I'm like, I'll have your script for you done in a day. They're like, what, a day? I was like, yeah, give me a day. I'll have a first draft done. And sure enough, I went straight to writing, got it first draft done, sent it off to Aaron and Josh, and there are some notes. And before we knew it, 3 drafts later, it's off to art. We got Omar involved, and so now everything has led to TCM Press, which is now also owned by Stephen Finkel, who owns the Comic Mint. So TCM Press, the Comic Mint Press. But so he's also selling exclusives as well as his own publishing company.
So did you know Stephen Finkel before he had called you? Like, had you guys worked on anything previous?
Yeah. So 2022, Aaron probably remembers that year. That was when Legends was at and Merc and everything was at New York Comic Con that year. It's when yes. So the Comic Mint had done an exclusive for Born of Blood. Taitague de Silva had done an exclusive for that. It is a very, very beautiful cover. And I had talked to Stephen briefly, and he had mentioned to me in passing just how he was talking about doing a World War II book. He's thinking about having me write it. I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. And nothing ever happened with it. That was 2 years ago. Nothing ever came of it until recently. And he started talking more and more about it. And we'll get to that book eventually. But yeah, we started talking 2 years ago, and we met 2 years ago, and it all led to this.
That's awesome, dude. So, and just to kind of relate it to some of the things that I'm seeing in my career field right now is like a lot of the people that I'm talking to are having trouble finding like careers and finding jobs. And one of the things I have to coach them on is like, you need to network. You need to be out and like speaking to people, because a resume is one thing, but it's the connections that you're going to make that is going to make a lasting impression and is going to take you way farther than any other resume or anything that you've done previously. You could do projects, you could do, stories or this or that, but ultimately it's going to be your connections and who you know, and who knows you, more importantly. And so, Drew, it sounds like this is a perfect example of what that is, of you knowing the right people and them trusting you enough to say, hey, we want this guy to write some of our books for this new press, for this new publishing company. So.
Yeah, and like I said, this was out of the blue after 2 years, and before you knew it, like I said, we're going to get to it. We got 3 books on now coming out, and I'm just waiting to wake up tomorrow morning and like, oh shit, this was all a dream. This is all just a dream. None of this is real. And this is everything I wanted, and it's just, I'm just waiting for it to happen.
So cool, man. So then, how does our El Beardo Magnifico? How does he play into this this big grand plan for you guys at TCM?
Oh, I will let Drew tell that story, since he's the one who he's the one who brought me on.
So I had sent in the first draft of Silent Nights, and they mentioned they said they're going to need an editor for the book, and I said, hey, I'm going to recommend to you the best editor in the business. His name is Aaron Sparrow. He's worked on Darkwing Duck. He's worked for Boom, Tokyo Pop. He's one of the best in the biz, and I guarantee you're going to have the top quality books with him on board. And have you reach out to Aaron. And before you knew it, I mean, I told Aaron, because I mean, he and I, we've been burned in the past with publishers in the past, and we're kind of leery about who we can trust, And I said to Aaron, hey, Steven, he's a great guy. He's a stand-up guy. I trust this guy. I believe in this guy. He's going to give us the creative freedom we want to tell stories, and it's been fantastic since then. And I think Aaron's had fun in the creative process as well with this.
I've had a lot of fun. It's one thing I really like about this is that typically when you have a publisher and he's like, hey, I do this and I do this, and I kind of want to do comic books, I want to make original, and I have this idea for this story. You usually don't get somebody who's hands off, or at least they're hands off at first, and then they quickly become not hands off when all of a sudden they see the work is almost done and they want to come in and put their stamp on it, put their name on it, and get all the kudos and credit. Steven is not like that at all. It's like he repeatedly tells us, like, I'll give you, my notes. I'll give you what I think, but this is your guys' ball game. You guys run with it. You guys know what you're doing. And it's really refreshing because, a lot of times you're working on something and you've got it almost where it needs to be. And then some big dumb oaf comes in and crams their fingers in there and starts rearranging things. And, it happens with the big 2 all the way down through the small publishers. So, it's really rough. And like Drew said, we've both been burned before. So it really was, it really was refreshing, and it's been really fun to work on these. It's funny whenever Drew tells that story and he says, you got to hire the best editor in the business. And if he's not available, I know Aaron Sparrow is always where I expect that story to go. But, we got to bring on Nathan Watson, who is an old-time collaborator of mine from way back in the Boom Studios days. Absolutely love Nate. He is like one of the best people. He's going to be with us in New York, signing books, signing Doomface prints, because we're going to do some prints of the Kneel Before Doomface cover that he did. It's been great to be able to take all these people who are always kind of in the periphery because, they don't exist within the Rolodex of, the friend network within comics, but they're amazingly talented, and to be able to put them on books and get them out there doing their best work. And I think we're going to blow people away, especially, with these launching at New York Comic Con. I think people are going to be excited. I think it's going to have a nice little bit of hype, and I'm really looking forward to the response.
So tell me a little bit more. You mentioned Nate Watson. Dude, tell everyone about the story of him being, I won't give too much away, but him being released from Boom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
how
he got his nickname and how you gave him his nickname. That's wild to me, man. That's such a cool story. So yeah, talk about Nate Watson a bit.
Okay, so when I was at Boom, Mad Men was on the air. And the powers that be at Boom thought Mad Men was an example of how you ran an office. They didn't recognize the fact that it was a cautionary tale. So like there's liquor in the break room. And of course, you know, it's the first Boom Studios and the comic book industry is the first, because I'd worked a lot of places. It's the first place that I saw actual sexism in the workplace where like women were lesser, you know, and their opinion was valued lesser. I was like, are we like in like, you know, biblical times in the Middle East where a woman's opinion is worth half of a man's, or her testimony is worth half of a man's? What's going on here? So that was really how the office was run. And everybody, like anytime anybody wanted to get ahead, and this happened to Marcio Takara and it happened to Nate Watson. But Nate was the first. So Nate said, hey, you know, he was working on Toy Story with me, which was a grind because it was so behind schedule all the time because of various, you know, problems within, you know, the structure of Boom and the way they did things, and notes from Pixar and things like that. So he was always under the gun, and it was just like having to redraw things, and it was just really miserable. But he did a great job. And he said to me, I'd really kind of like to get back into superhero stuff. You know, I really want to kind of like stretch my legs and do some more of that. I noticed that you guys can't keep an artist on Mark Waid's Incorruptible. Do you think I could try out for that? I said, oh, let me ask Matt, the managing editor at the time. And so I went and asked Matt, and Matt scoffed at it and was like, Nate's not ready for prime time. And I was looking at the artists. I was looking at the artists that they had, and I was like, but these guys are prime time. Well, shortly thereafter, Nate got an offer from Lucasfilm. And I keep saying before the dark times, before Disney. So he went to work for George Lucas's Lucasfilm, designing ships and designing environments and doing all kinds of stuff like that. And so from then on, whenever he would come up in conversation, I'd be like, oh, you mean Primetime? You mean Nate Primetime Watson over there working for Lucasfilm? You mean him? There's a reason that Matt didn't like me. There's a lot of reasons. But you know, that kind of became it. And then later with Marcio, it was the same thing. Marcio wanted to do Incorruptible, and I recommended him and was told no. And then eventually I left, and they got desperate, and they realized it was a good idea, and they put him on there. And now Marcio, you know, is killing it on, you know, that Poison Ivy book I think is selling purely because, you know, Marcio's killing it on art. His art is gorgeous. Yeah. So, you know, this is unfortunately typical of the comic book industry. If you're not their guy, you know, or it's the recommendation doesn't come from them, it's really hard to get people over, to get people into, you know, good positions that they deserve to get to because of their hard work and because of their talent. And so I'm so glad, like when I was over at Merck, you know, and I found out that Nate wanted to get back into art, I was like, do some covers for me, baby. You know, he did a couple of pages so that we could get Death Rage out on time. You know, did some great work there. And then he's done some Kneel Before Doomface covers for me that are like, oh, chef's kiss. So, you know, I like to employ people that are good people and that work hard and have been getting the shaft from the industry.
Well, hell yeah, man. I'm so glad that you're doing that. And these guys, like, not only do they have an opportunity now to, you know, showcase what they're worth, but it's all these really great connections that they have, like you and Drew, that say, hey, I know this guy who has the chops to get to that next level, and he's just not being given the chance. Let's get him on a book where he can stretch his creative muscles and really produce something beautiful, which is why these indie comics are kicking ass right now, because you're getting guys like Jim Zub, you're getting guys like Robert De La Torre, who mainstream people would never hear of, but thanks to Titan Publishing and Titan Press, they're giving these guys a shot and going like, you're the best two for the job, right? And I think that's what Stephen Finkel is doing with you, Drew, and with you, Aaron, is he's saying, you guys are the right people for the job. And then y'all are taking your resources and going, these artists or these cover artists or these editors or whoever it may be, they're the right guys for the job, and we're going to give them a shot as well. It's kind of a dream team. It's kind of bringing together the A team and trying to get y'all to be on a creative project. Drew, I was going to ask, with Stephen Finkel, when he came to you, was this something that he's like, I want to do my own publishing company so that I can flesh out more of my stories? Or was he just kind of saying like, I want another source. I want another stream of revenue coming in. And I'd love to tell stories. Or like, what was his initial push for this business decision? Moving, not necessarily moving away from the variant comic like cover market, but doing his own stories as well as the variant cover market.
Well, I do know he had one story. I know he had one personal story he wanted to tell. We're going to get to that in Depths of Valor, but just whereas when it came to Silent Knights, they just had a pinup, that Taitague had done. We'll talk about that later. That some of the rough sketches that Taitague had done. It was for Penthouse Comics, and he wanted to build a story around that, and he hired me to do that, and which was a blast. But and they were just looking to creatives. What other properties, titles can they use can they have to sell, under the TCM banner, and that's when I brought to them Unholy Nightmare. So not so much stories that his stuff, but what other great ones can we tell with Dolan and Aaron and Nate and Aurelio and Taitague? So yeah, it's been a fun creative process.
Absolutely, man. And like I said, what a dream team. I think you guys mentioned last night, all you'll need is Joe Corallo, and I think you'll be set. You guys have got everyone.
Really?
There.
Yeah, because we've got Murphy. We got
that's right. Murphy's going to be on here too. So I'm excited for you guys to work with her again.
Yeah, it's been fantastic because they had mentioned, Stephen had mentioned, like they're gonna Silent Knights will be launching on Kickstarter October 1, I believe is the plan right now, and Stephen and Taitague initially were asking me months ago, like, what do you know about Kickstarter? How does it all work? This and that. Like, look, I know a little bit about this, but if you want the expert on Kickstarter, Murphy is the expert on Kickstarter. You've got to hire her. She will guide you to the promised land with making this successful. All right. And sure enough, before we knew it, she was on board, and it's been off to the races, literally.
It's great to be working with Murphy again. Just absolutely adored everything that that we did at Merc. She's so great to work with, and just really glad to have her back on board as well. It's great, man. I love it. It's it's like, man, working with people that are passionate about comics and want to tell stories and want to actually make things that matter. Like I could be doing this, or I could be like, I don't know, how about a porn version of Gilligan's Island? Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to do this.
I think the voice was perfectly. I mean, it felt like he was on the stream. Yeah. There's actually some like creative integrity here, and though they're, hey, a sexy woman, and what do you know? It's not necessarily just all porn. It's a well-written story about a girl who, actually, before we get into the plot of some of these stories, let me showcase some of the art. So, Drew, you sent these to me right before we started, but these are some of the sketch-ups that were before the cover was finalized. Is that what we're seeing here from, is it Taitague?
Yep, Taitague de Silva. Yeah, he gave me the thumbs up to share these. So these are his prelims for his covers right here that he shared. Yeah. And just as prelims themselves, they're absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yeah. And what's so fascinating is like, this is a tough pose. Like I could not imagine trying to draw something like this to get the anatomy right, to get the curves right and everything. But this looks like this is the one that he ultimately went with, like a version of this.
That's one of them. I'm not saying that's going to be there. You may see that one again. You may see that one. You just,
something like this, maybe.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like it. Yeah. So Vex says, so what you're saying is I should buy this because it's genuinely interesting and not just because there are booba.
Well, I mean, the booba doesn't help. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt, I should say. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, no. The booba helps a ton. The big heavies are,
It's not a booby book. It's there's an actual story to it. We're actually building something. It's it's got maybe an R rating, or like I said the other night, a PG rating in the 80s. But it's a legit story that we're telling, right. And that's kind of like what we want to do with everything is we want these things to matter. It's like I don't want to be part of a company that just does a bunch of covers that are just, and it doesn't matter what they're wrapped around because that's not the point. You know, it's like a beautiful cover, absolutely. But when you open it up, the same effort should be put into the interiors.
Yeah. Like there's a book that came out this week that was Wolverine Venom War. Drew, did you get a chance to read that one?
No, I did not.
I thank yourself that you saved yourself the 15 minutes that you did not read it. But yeah, it's got this like incredibly detailed cover of like a venomized Wolverine. And I'm like, I'll give it a shot, right? The interior art was just, it's like, no, absolutely not. This does not match whatsoever. So
yeah, and you know,
neither did the story.
Yeah, and you bring up a great point there. You know, that's Marvel. You know, subpar interior art with what you should expect from Marvel, which is great quality. Here in Silent Knights, I guarantee you, once we get the go ahead to show the interior art, when you see these fight scenes we have in here, how graphic it is, how kinetic every action scene is, you guys are going to be blown away. I guarantee it. This is going to blow anything Marvel and DC have done out of the water.
Well, speaking of which, let's get the pitch. So, Drew, if you, and Aaron, if you guys want to go ahead and share with us Silent Nights, excuse me, and what the pitch for this is and what is going to grab the audience. If you guys could create your preview, you know, what is that called? The shoot. I'm blanking on it now. What Marvel and DC always put out, the solicitation for the book.
I will let Drew go because this is his hard-fought victory. I will let him do the victory lap, and then I will just add a little flavor. Yeah,
nice, perfect.
Yeah,
as an editor, perfectly does. Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is this first issue is Black Widow with balls. This issue is all I gotta say. And
wait,
she
has balls?
Not physically, Max. Get your head out of the gutter.
Okay.
But it's what if Black Widow actually legitimately kicked ass again, and this is it. And this is a badass femme fatale with a dash of AI and robots, with some industrial espionage, some international intrigue. It's not going to be some bland generic stories told in New York. We're going to be going all over the globe in this damn series. We're going from everywhere from New York to El Paso, Texas, to Tokyo, to Dubai. And it's going to be insane, just the visuals, what we're going to be doing in this book. And if you have a testosterone deficiency, this is the cure-all for this. And if you like sexy ladies, this is going to be your book. Because there's going to be some sex, there's going to be violence, there's going to be action, there's going to be comedy. It's going to have everything in this that you want.
If you like some cool dudes that are like walking in and you're like, you're not sure if you like them, but you want to see where they're going, you know, where their story's going.
Yeah,
they're in there.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Silverlock says, "Uh-oh, I just walked into something." You sure did, my friend. He's like, "What is on the page?"
He walked in just as Drew said, "There's going to be sex. There's going to be violence."
Exactly. Now,
he's like, is this stream going to put me on a watch list? What's happening?
But it sounds like so much fun to make. Did you guys have fun making this? And now I know, Drew, you were pitched just the basic concept, right? Stephen Finkel probably just gave you the idea and just said, "Hey, Dolan, I want to do a story about a femme fatale who's sexy but strong and is actually written well. Can you do something like that?" And you just said, "I got it." A day later, they just come up with this.
Yeah, it was just Taitague had. I don't think you have the image up, Max, but it was one of the images that Taitague had done that was for Penthouse Comics with this femme fatale, and they said that this is the girl, and the background was like New York City. It'd be like New York City, and it's going to be. We were thinking the title would be Silent Nights, and or something like that. I was like, okay, I'll work with that. And that's all I had to work with. So just thinking, okay. So it's thinking like New York, Silent Nights. Okay, let's make it Christmas, right? Silent Nights. And it's peaceful. What's a peaceful place in New York? You know, United Nations. They celebrate peace. But you know what's not going to be peaceful at United Nations is a Christmas night when two people are kicking each other's asses throughout the whole United Nations headquarters. And it's going to be, you have a choir singing Silent Nights on the outside, and it's going crazy. Yeah, I just having fun with the Christmas themes, the title Silent Nights. And just yeah, the irony of people kicking each other's asses in the United Nations building. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time.
Sweet, man. It sounds fun. It sounds like a fun premise, but it sounds also pretty badass. And something that we've been missing for a while is just some high octane action, while also a little bit of sex, a little bit of intrigue. I feel
and
like
comedy,
everyone,
yeah, it's gonna be yeah. And Aaron, he gave me a great line. He's like, you've left open a great opening for a line like this in this book. And I'm like, son of a bitch, that's a good line. Damn it. I had to put it in.
It is yours.
Oh, nice. That's why you guys work so well. So
that's one of the things that I really enjoy is, and that's the best part of editing is, a lot of indie guys are afraid to hire an editor because they think that an editor is going to come in and, especially if they've worked in the mainstream and they're going to get nerfed. But that's not the way that I work. I come in and I say, what are you trying to do? What story are you trying to tell? Define the characters for me, because if I read the script and the characters aren't clearly defined, I'm like, you're going to need to define these for me. And then we're going to go through and we're going to define them for the reader through their dialogue, through the way that they, my entire goal is to take your story and help you make it the best version of the story you want to tell.
Yeah. And that's such an important role for an editor. Yeah.
Yeah. And this book, I mean, a lot of pressure is on me to really make this story have all these elements come together toward the end, because a lot of the B and C plots are going to become the A plot eventually in the story. So it's a gradual buildup to what the main event's going to be, and teasing players who are going to be coming in later on. Issue 2, we have a great character coming in. I don't want to say who it is just yet, but I'm going to wait till we start talking about issue 2.
My favorite character so far.
I love it. I love it. And it's going to be a blast. There will not be a dull moment in this series. I guarantee it.
Sweet. Cannot wait.
Every single page, every single panel matters. It's
Ooh, see, and that's such a great point. I feel like so much of current Western comics are just wasted space, where it's like, did this panel have any meaning? Same thing with a lot of current media in general, where it's like lines are just said, or conversations are had, but nothing actually develops character, or there's no plot points or story beats that are being hit. Things are just taking place, but nothing is actually happening. And yet when you read a book that has purposeful dialogue, where each line, each word has a specific meaning said by a character that is very intentional about saying those things, it's like having a 5-course, meal at Ruth's Chris. It's like, it's so filling that you can recognize. I think at least I recognize it. But so I like that you brought that up, Aaron. I think that's a really great point.
Yeah, that's always one of my notes too. Is I'm like, you don't need this line. You don't need this line. Yeah. This is muddying the waters. Those are like things that I do. Like, it's like, let's just push this forward. Now, if the line is clever, then the line informs the character, or it gives a little bit of personality. It doesn't need to be there, but it gives a little bit of personality. Then absolutely, it needs to be there, because you need to. And that's a note that I recently got on something that I did. Is someone said all of the characters are clearly defined, and I like them all for different reasons. And I was like, nailed it, and that's what I try to bring editorially, is I try to help writers find each character's voice. Too many times, and not while I've been working on the indies, but when I was working for Boom and things like that, too many times you get a script and you're like, every character is just you. Every character is speaking in your voice. And that's the way the big two are right now. You go read Stephanie Phillips Phoenix, it's just all the same voice.
Yeah.
You go read, what was the one that just came out? Oh, Exceptional X-Men. Mm-hmm. It's all the same voice. Every character is just the same, talking in the same way, making the same lame jokes, same lame sense of humor. There's no difference between them. There's no that dynamism that makes the characters rub up against each other and have conflict and have interesting interactions. So that's what we're really doing here.
Absolutely. Yeah. So a lot of these characters in this series, some are going to be more confident than others. Some are going to be cockier than others. Some are going to be older and more experienced than others. So a lot of them are going to be, brushing up against each other, and it's going to be fun.
And yeah, this is a big thing too, having self-inserts in there. When you have yourself being written into the book, when you're writing yourself into the book, or when you only speak in your voice while you're writing the dialogue, you're just writing you in a book. Now, I think authors and writers and creatives are going to have a sense of their own self or their own experiences that are going to be poured into some of this stuff. But when it's like, when you can't clearly define characters from, you know, the dialogue that you're writing, then yeah, you're just inserting your own, how you would speak. For example, the Uncanny X-Men that Drew and I read this week, you know, Gail Simone, when she's writing these Zoomer characters, it is clearly a 65-year-old woman who is who's bored out of her mind and is just saying like, how do you do, fellow X-Men adults? We are children. We like children things. Remember the early 2000s? Crazy. You know, it's just like, oh my God, this is awful.
Remember slap bracelets? No cap.
Tamagotchis. Wow. Yeah, I don't know.
Remember Napster? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nana. Let's get you back to bed.
Yeah. So, but yeah, great point to Vex there is, those self-inserts. Now, this sounds like a fun, really great time. And I'm just so excited to have something that is, like I said, high octane, but also sexy at the same time, because we're missing some of that. I feel like a lot of times we see amorphous blobs where it's like, is this a woman? Is this a man? I can't tell which one it is. So the fact that we are celebrating the curves of a woman while also showing a little bit of her strength,
unlike a lot of other indie publishers who put in sex scenes just to have a flippin' sex scene, the sex scenes serve a purpose in the stories. There's a reason why they happen in these, especially in issue 2. But in issue 1, we see why these two are engaged in bumping uglies.
Bumping uglies in a little bit of.
I haven't heard that one in a while.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, my fellow kids. Yeah.
the horizontal mambo.
Yeah.
And the kids are like, what's mambo?
What the?
I mean, Daddy, you're just wrestling.
You see, kids, when chat, if you don't know, when a man and a woman love each other very much, or they're scumbags and they just meet outside of a bar, they engage in some special hugging. I don't know where I was going on that.
Well, I know where we're going next. We're going to the depths of Valor. So, Drew, if you want to, well, actually, before we talk about depths of Valor, I do want to give a huge shout out to our very own Lady Gravemaster. Thank you so much for the $2, Lady G. Love seeing you in here. She says, little bit of sex. What did I just walk into? Yes, it is true.
Mommy and Daddy are hugging.
And that's a good thing. But yeah, no, we are thrilled to have Lady G in the chat. Thank you for being here. And thank you for all that you do for our very own wonderful Gary Nerdrotic. You are weaponized autism in the best way possible. So thank you, Lady G. And for you, I'll give you a little bit of this.
I bid you stand! Stand of the West!
Well, thank you again, Lady G, for the 2 doll hairs. Let's move on to Depths of Valor. Drew, give us the pitch for this one and how Steve Finkel had pitched this to you initially and how cool the concept is there.
Yeah, so 2 years ago, like I said, at New York Comic Con, Steven had mentioned to me in passing he wanted to do a World War II book. I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. But nothing ever came of it until recently, back in April, we started talking about books, and he loved how things turned out with Silent Nights. He brought up to me Depths of Valor. He asked me if I'd be interested in doing a World War II book, and I said, absolutely. And then he pitched to me his idea, his dream, his baby, Depths of Valor, how this was going to be originally a novel. He would plan for this to be a novel. It didn't work out that way, unfortunately. So he figured he'd reach out to me and see if I wanted to write this in a comic book version. I said, yeah, absolutely. And he pitched me the idea, which essentially this is based on a true story. Depths of Valor is, and it's about an actual German U-boat that was discovered off the coast of New Jersey, 60 miles off the coast of New Jersey in the late 1990s. But funnily enough, according to Nazi Party records, this German U-boat was supposed to have been sunk off the coast of Morocco. How it wound up 60 miles off the New Jersey coast, we don't know, but we're going to be explaining that in this book. We're going to get to the mysteries of this German U-boat, what its final mission was, who the survivor was, what was there a massive doomsday weapon on this boat? You got to read to find out. But this story is going to have a lot of heart. This is going to really pull at the heartstrings as we get later on in the book. Maybe in the first issue, we'll see. But we're going to see just how deep the depths of Valor can go in a person. So this was a challenge to write. This is going to be a serious challenge to write because this is much different than anything else I've written. But I think I've done a very good job with the first chapter so far.
Excellent, man. Now, this is the book that Josh said was his favorite writing project that you had completed. Is that what I'm hearing is true?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Josh read it, and he tried reading it one night late. He's like, okay, this isn't going to work. So he read it the next day, and he's like, I don't have any notes on this. And I think he sent it to Aaron, and he asked Aaron if he read it, and Aaron's like, yeah, I didn't have any notes. No,
you sent it to me.
Oh, I did. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you sent it to me because I actually gave you that. You told Josh. Aaron said the same thing. That it's like I have a few grammatical suggestions and maybe like some sentence tweaking here and there, but it's the most minor notes I've ever given. I told Drew, I said, this is the best thing you've ever written.
That's so cool, man. And I think from what I remember Josh saying was that not only did he tell Drew, separately, hey, I think this is probably one of the best things you've written. I really don't have very many notes. Aaron, you told him that separately too. So you and Josh didn't even talk about this. This was just something that you both came to the conclusion yourselves, which I think is fascinating. So I love that story. And I love the premise of this. This is so unique. Like, talk about something that I feel like an Image or a Boom or something like that would take this and go, let's just make it a Netflix pitch. Whereas Drew is looking at this and going like, this is a really unique story that I have the opportunity to tell. How can I do it justice? Instead of, how can I think of this as a screenplay to pitch to Netflix? So let's do it on the lowest budget possible. You know what I mean? It's like, this feels so much more genuine. And I love that about the concept behind it.
I mean, that's what you should be doing in comic books anyway, is you should be swinging for the fences. You should be leaning into, like we always say, dance with who brought you. And you're working on comics, lean into what makes comics great, what makes it the greatest storytelling medium in the world, which is you can put all kinds of crazy stuff in there, and you don't have to have a multi-million-dollar, $250 million to make it happen. I know, of course, the artist would love it if you had $250 million to make it happen. And they deserve every penny. But you can really do some great stuff. And that's you nailed it, Max. This is the beauty of this, is that it gets to be done in the right way. It doesn't have to be scaled back because you're like, oh, well, what kind of budget could this get if it was, if Netflix picked it up? It's got to appeal to those bean counters. No, this is made to appeal to people that love stories, people that love comic books, and people that love the comic book medium.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I love hearing that, man. That's so cool. Well, let's get to our last book here. Now, before I get into this one, though, is it fair for me to ask y'all, because I know that y'all are the creators of these things, or the writers of these and editors of these, but should I ask if you guys have a favorite out of the three? Like, out of the three, which one you're looking forward to fans getting in their hands and like reading? Now, Josh or Drew, I know that Unholy. Yeah, I know, right? Because Drew, I know that Unholy Nightmare is your baby, right? That's yours. But then with how Silent Night is written and how Depths of Valor may be one of your best books, if not your very best book, I don't know, man. How you guys?
You're asking a parent to play favorites, and I can't do that. I can't do that with my kids. And honestly, I love, and really, I think Aaron can see my love is with all three of these books, and I'm putting forth my best effort in all these books. And I can't play favorites in either of these. If anyone were to pick up if someone came to our booth at New York Comic Con and picked up one of these out of the three, I'm a happy man. If they picked up a great book, but if they picked up all three, I'd be fucking ecstatic. Absolutely. But I'll be happy regardless if anyone would pick up a book from the.
If they come up and they say which one out of the 3 should I get, I can only afford one. I'm just gonna start asking them some questions about like, what kind of stories do you like? What do you like horror? Do you like like historical kind of fiction? Because each one is different. It's like, okay, you got 3 movies. You got a horror movie, you got an action movie, and you got a piece of historical fiction. Which movie are you spending your money on? Okay, then that's the book you should get. That's the way that I would sell it to them, to try to find out what it is that they're gonna like. Because again, I can't pick one out of the 3 because I like all those genres and I like all these books. So. And Gideon obviously is ready to give us his stamp of approval right on the
yeah. Let's see. Is he going to show his butt for us? I don't know. Well,
he says in solidarity with all my fallen brethren in Ohio.
Oh my God! Seriously, save the cats! Save the cats! Chat. Hashtag save the cats.
What are you talking about? That's not true. That's not happening. That's fake news. Come on.
City manager said.
Yeah. But no, all the people in Springfield, Ohio, they don't mean anything. It's just the city manager. No, yeah, we'll do a PSA real quick. Save the cats. Hashtag cat lives matter. Jordan Peterson legitimately tweeted cat lives matter today. Twitter is a wild place. So
I love that Twitter has become the Wild West. It's so much more fun now that it's not an authoritarian shithole.
It really
now
is.
it's just a Wild West shithole.
Yeah, there you go. Cat lives matter. Save the cats. Save the cats. Cat butt. We've also got Ash Lauren here. He says, I will stop by at New York Comic Con.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
It'll be good to see you.
Love it. And I actually have the map of where you guys are going to be. So I'm going to pull that up in just a second here. I will say hi to our beautiful, lovely Nadia. She says, what a handsome panel. I know.
And I'm here as well.
Oh, she means us.
That's us. And then Josh says, "Stop making us Jews, Max, you monster." I know. It's a tough choice. It really is. But I like Aaron's answer. Honestly, I do, because you have to factor in. Okay, what is it that you legitimately want? Do you want something that's more of a historical fiction? Do you want something that is a horror? So I'm excited for it. Let me see. Drew, I've got a picture here that has your TCM Press booth. Or actually, yeah. It's got the TCM Press, it's got the Kickstarter station, bounty hunters, iPads, stuff like that. Can I showcase that, or is that just for my eyes?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what are we looking at here?
So yeah, this is going to be pretty much our booth layout. So down there at the bottom where it says main retail, that's going to be the Comic Mint. That's going to be the line ride down there in front. That's where you're going to have the line going down probably a quarter of a mile, people in line to get stuff. And where it says TCM Press, that up there in the top right, that's where I'll be with Aaron, with Murphy, with Nate, hopefully Josh. If he comes up here, I hope he says he was thinking about coming up. Maybe we'll see. Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna be hanging out there. We're gonna be there slinging books, selling books.
I gotta talk to Murphy, my friend Daphne. That Max, Daphne.
Daphne's great.
She wants to go to New York, so I gotta talk to Murphy about it.
Heck yeah, get her over there too. Hey, we bring back booth babes. We need booth babes. Come on, especially for the ladies who are in Silent Night, Unholy Nightmare. We need some booth babes to represent. So,
what's funny is I had a friend of mine say, "I want to come to a show at once your book is out. I want to come to a show and cosplay as Lexi," and then was like, "Oh, but Renzo draws her boobs so big."
Even better. But no, this is a great layout. So chat, if you guys are going to be at New York Comic Con, look for TCM Press. That is going to be right behind the main retail for the Comic Mint. What would you call it? Variant cover.
Honestly, you cannot miss the Comic Mint. Literally, as soon as you walk into the main hall, they're straight in, and they've got it. You're going to see the huge literally huge banners up. Let's see the Comic Mint, and I decided we're going to be there. You'll not be able to miss us, guarantee it.
Excellent. And then is this kind of how the TCM Press booth is going to be laid out?
That was just that's just like a rough thing. No, we have to worry about showing that. That's just
Yeah. So it'll be more like that. Guys, I got to run. Thank you so much, Max, for having us on. It's great to be on Friday nights.
Absolutely. No, it's my pleasure, man. Seriously, I can't thank you enough for being here. And I can't tell you how excited I am for Kneel Before Doomface. I've set aside time this weekend to read it, and I am thrilled that we're going to be getting this here in our hands here pretty soon. So, but yeah,
you got to read it because I keep adding things. I keep adding jokes. So
I know. I'm wondering. I'm like, should I wait till the next edit? No, I have to read.
No. It's solid. There's just one more joke that might go in, but it's just a line. So no worries.
Cool.
All right. Drew, I will talk to you. I'll talk to you maybe later tonight. You guys have fun.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks,
brother. Take care.
Later.
So let's go over the last book here on the Comic Mint website, which I have also linked in the descriptions below. So please, if you guys have not already, check it out. But this is going to be your baby, your project with you and Aurelio. This is Unholy Nightmare. Now, is this the entire issue or is this a preview edition?
You are correct, Max. It will be the full issue of Unholy Nightmare. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Finally, it's about time. But I talked. It's about time, and I talked to Murphy. And we're looking to start going to print and fulfillment. I think probably the next week, if not 2 weeks from now. Then we're going to be. We should be able to fulfill this over a weekend. It should not take too long. So by the time we go to New York Comic Con in October, everyone should have their copies of Unholy Nightmare. And on top of that, Aurelio has already mailed to us his original art, the commissions, all that stuff. Murphy already has them in hand. So yeah, we're going to be ready to go to start fulfillment as soon as we go to print. And awesome. I cannot wait to have the whole issue finally. It's in hand. It's going to be fantastic.
Well, congrats, brother. I loved the preview edition that you sent out and that you had at Dallas Fan Expo. I've read the full issue. This is going to be sweet. I'm going to get this variant. I'm going to get Depths of Valor, and I think I'm going to get the Thiago de Silva variant for Silent Knights. But yeah, how can we get our hands on one or all three of these beautiful books?
So there will be a pre-sale for these. If you cannot make it out to New York Comic Con, that's fine. There will be a pre-sale. However, it will be a limited quantity pre-sale because all of these books, like we said, we don't know what the reception is going to be like. Naturally, we'd love to have these all sell out, which is what everyone should want. But we hope. But at the same time, we got to be cautious about it. So each cover is limited to 100 copies, period. That's it. No more. So we're going to be doing a pre-sale at some point, probably in the next few weeks, leading up to New York, where there's probably going to be 20 copies of each cover up for pre-sale. So if you want to make sure you get your hands on a copy and they don't sell out, sign up down there at the bottom and the link that Max put in the chat. Sign up at that link at the bottom with your email address to be notified when it goes live. So you can pre-order your copy.
Yeah, baby. So once again, chat, if you guys have not get over to this link, sign up for the pre-sale. Basically what that means is once these things go live, it'll notify you and you'll be able to get in there and hopefully grab one of the 20 copies of each one of these books or each one of the books or each one of the covers.
So each cover is limited to 100 copies. Yeah.
Okay. So then by the time that it gets brought to New York Comic Con, if you guys can get to New York Comic Con, you're going to then have 80 copies, right, at the booth that you guys will hopefully be able to get your hands on there as well. I'm not sure which one is going to sell out quicker, the 20 copies online pre-sale or the 80 copies in person at New York Comic Con. But either way, y'all aren't going to have any more books by the end of the day. So
we hope so. I mean, honestly, the best case scenario, sell out in the pre-sale, sell out first thing Thursday at New York Comic Con. Yeah, that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic.
Then you and Aaron and Murphy just get to hang out at the booth and just chill.
I got no problem with that. We can go mingle. That sounds perfect to me.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, yeah, like I said, go check out this link, and it is also in this description below. But chat, I'm excited for these, and I'm also very proud of my friends for doing this stuff. They are incredible creatives and have some incredible talent. They're really stretching their creative muscles with these, and they just keep getting wins and successes. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what these hold for the future. So, other than that, do we have anything else to share, Drew? I think we can move on to our comics for this week.
Oh yeah, I just want to talk about the artists real quick. Yeah, so,
Yeah,
we haven't
absolutely,
really talked about the
please.
art. We haven't talked about the artists. Yeah. So Omar's doing the interiors. Yeah. Zaldivar, he's doing the interiors for Silent Nights. His art is fantastic, and it's very, very beautiful. I mean, you see him. It's something you'd see from Marvel Comics or DC Comics, 100%.
Wow.
And Luis Zavala, he's doing the colors for Depths of Valor and Silent Nights, and his covers are 100% beautiful. You see the colors in Depths of Valor, it's going to blow your mind. When you're going through a submarine that's sunk, nothing tops it. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Perfect.
And you got Nate Watson, like we brought up earlier. Nate Watson, this is arguably the best work of his career, and every page has been a delight. Yeah, Primetime, Nate Primetime Watson, and all of his blue lines are absolutely immaculate. The blue lines for the subsequent pages coming up, I cannot wait to see them being done till they're finished. It's been fantastic working with them, and I love working with my artists. I love just shooting shit with them, keeping them in good spirits, just having a blast. And if they're having fun, I'm having fun.
So cool, man. Awesome.
Yeah. And Aurelio,
and of course,
my brother from another mother. Yeah, he's amazing, and I couldn't be happier. And we're both happy with the deal we worked out with Steve for Unholy Nightmare to be published through the Comic Mint. Great things are going to be coming. And like I said, I have the first 12 issues already written for Unholy Nightmare. Working on
that's right
now.
Whew, man. Well, Aurelio is he's a treasure. He really is something special, and I'm so glad that you have him on board. He really has become family for you. So I'm thankful that he is on this journey with you as you guys go to the Comic Mint, and we'll publish your stuff through them. And I mean, we've had Aurelio on the channel, I think twice now at this point. So
yeah, I think twice.
Yeah. So great guy. Love to see him on here with you, because I think he's really one of the only guys who can do this book justice. So
yeah.
Well, sweet. Thank you again for sharing that. And chat, please go check this out and go sign up for the pre-sale. And I think that should be it for TCM Press. We'll go ahead and talk about it later in the evening once we finished up with the books for this week. We'll give you guys a reminder just to check it out. But for now, Drew, unfortunately or fortunately, you and I did get to read some comics from this week. Is that correct?
Yes. I will say there were at least 6 or 7 books I did like this week. I'll say that.
6 or 7?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Wowie wow. Okay.
Yeah, right. I will be, because on tomorrow on the best of the week, I will be recommending about 6 or 7 with Wes. So yeah. Okay.
What would be one of your first recommends?
Prodigy would be one of them. Geiger is another. Transformers was another.
Okay.
Johnny Quest was another one. Space Ghost.
Okay. These were all ones I didn't get a chance to read this week. Damn. I did read Prodigy. I thought Prodigy was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll go ahead and pull that up for us here.
Yeah. Yeah, Ain't No Grave was another good one.
Let's see. Issue number 2. Bada bing, bada boom. Prodigy, issue number 1 by Mark Millar. Yeah, man, this was intense. What were some of the things that stood out to you about this one?
Well, I loved how natural the dialogue was in this. You know, I loved seeing that the smartest man in the planet that we're used to, his brother is actually smarter than he is.
Right.
And, yeah. But you learn
much like in it's granted not all families are like this, but in some families there is undue pressure put on kids to be successful, to really achieve well. And this one brother, he burned himself out. You find out that just doing all these great things, he burned himself out, and he just wanted to just smoke weed and just get away from it all. And his younger brother, the prodigy, he's just been kind of living under his brother's shadow, trying to impress his dad.
Yeah, this was, I was surprised how natural the dialogue flowed and how natural the dialogue felt throughout this entire book. I love the relationship between the two brothers. And it really goes to show, like you said, like how the father played into these guys' lives, and just how it kind of, I think at one point the older brother says, like, I was going to high school at 4 years. I learned how to read at 2 years old. I was going to high school at 4 years old, and I was already finishing my master's at 6 years old, or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then the younger brother says, well, he gave me what it was, a silver dollar.
So silver dollar. Yeah.
And I told him I'd make it $1 billion just to spite him. And that's exactly what I did. It's just it's fascinating to listen to these characters talk about how they go about these things because of their extreme intelligence, and how they go about fighting this villain when the villain feels like he is always one step ahead of these guys, like always one, like not even one, like 10 steps ahead of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about the brother learning where the older brother was because of the saliva that he left on the card?
I can look. This is a series where, if you read the previous run, this is the series where you have a mad scientist swap out his hands for gorilla hands. All right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Look,
I liked it. I liked it.
I know. I love it. No, I absolutely love that. So you got to go in and say, okay, this is a world we're in. All right, mad scientist, everything. Okay, you have a mad scientist, literally a genius who can discover where your slave is from. Okay, I can absolutely go with that. We've established that precedent in this series. And on top of that, yeah, we got Mars, the builders who came to Earth, and it looks like the builders from Mars may be coming back to Earth, but we'll see what happens with that.
Dude, that really, this is what's taken me for a spin, is the fact that they're trying to find out the hieroglyphics and the history behind these I think they're called spacemen. They ruled the earth for a long time, and we were just their slaves. And it shows some of the hieroglyphics here of these like giant beings, and then this thing encased in like this mummy tomb. Man, this is getting really interesting. I'm really digging it.
Yes, it is. It's going to places that places that I think I know where it's going to go, but then it goes in a completely different direction. That's what I love about this.
Right.
Love about this series. Love about Mark Millar, and I cannot wait to see what happens next.
Well, if you guys are looking for very well written dialogue, intelligent conversations, an action where someone kicks a magazine into the forehead of a villain, yeah, I'd say that's pretty awesome. So pretty damn hardcore. And then he goes, like you said, little brother, I was always the cool one. It's true. So
very cool.
Very cool. No, this was fun. I really enjoyed this, and I think this is one of Mark Millar's better books. So
yeah, it's a recommend.
Oh, absolute recommend. And do I like it more than Nemesis? I don't know. What do you think? I'm
going to say yes. I like it more than
wow.
I like the current run of Nemesis. Yeah, I'm enjoying this more than the current Nemesis run.
Interesting. That is very interesting. Okay. Now, yeah, the current Nemesis run is weaker than the previous two. I'll give you that. But man, Prodigy over Nemesis. We might have to get your brother's take on that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did actually forget that we should have technically started the conversation out with the books that we read for 1984. So let me go ahead and do this. I'll pull this up. So chat, if you guys remember a little while ago, I told Kyle and Drew, I said, would it be kind of fun if, like, I don't know, if we read the books that came out in the second week of September, but 40 years ago? And we kind of said, like, yeah, that would be pretty fun. Like, let's see if we could do that. So this week I challenged the guys. I said, what books would you read? Basically, we're looking at the books that came out this week, but 40 years ago, were Avengers 250, Conan the Barbarian, G.I. Joe, Incredible Hulk, Marvel Age, Marvel Graphic Novel, Marvel Tales, starring Spider-Man, Power Man and Iron Fist, Rom, Sheena, and Uncanny X-Men. Drew, did you read any of these from this lineup?
I got to read 2. I read Incredible Hulk and I read Power Man and Iron Fist.
Nice. And thoughts on these ones?
Incredible Hulk was really, really good. I'll say Sal Buscema, his Hulk. Holy shit. I love it. It really, you look at the interior art of that book, it really reminds you of, like, what if Roberto Della Torre was illustrating the Hulk? And
that's cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you have a cover there that's done by Mike Mignola and Terry Austin on the inks of the cover. It is beautiful. And the story is interesting too. I really dig the story. And I like to read the next issue. I had a blast with that one.
That's what's kind of cool, is that, like, you get a little bit of this feeling of, like, man, I kind of want to read the rest of the series now, you know? So
yeah.
I ended up doing that with the X-Men book. I was like, I wonder what happens in the next issue. I really want to know now. So
yeah,
that was awesome. Incredible Hulk issue 302. Let me pull this up for everyone here. Hold on. There we go. Man, yeah, look at that cover.
Yeah. Mike Mignola and Terry
sick.
Austin on the inks.
That's so rad. Man. Yeah, this was one that I didn't get a chance to read this week, but this looks awesome.
Yeah,
I'll have
Sal
to
Buscema.
take a look at this.
Yeah, he killed it.
Yeah. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, it looks like he's kind of like in a medieval. Ooh,
well,
yeah.
Well, it's, the thing is, he's like in another dimension. He's in a completely other dimension. He is a strange language that they're speaking, and we don't really know what it is. But we're able to decipher. The narrator's able to tell us that certain phrases we see over and over again is like, okay, obviously referring to him as like a brute or something or whatever. But then we see, because essentially he's going to go save like a Rapunzel in the tower, and these knights are trying to stop him from doing it. And we discovered Hulk can be hurt in this dimension where he's at, so he's getting injured. Yeah, and this Rapunzel type girl it's telling her story to Hulk, and we see that she cries like rose petals or flower petals from her eyes. But it's a very interesting story. I really dig this, and I would love to read more. I probably end up reading more of this.
Yeah, that's incredible. How cool. And then you said you liked the Power Man and Iron Fist as well.
It how should I say this? The art is very stilted in this. You have Greg LaRocque doing the art in this. Greg LaRocque, he turned into a fantastic artist later on in his career. In this book, it's very stilted. It's very uneven. Jim Owsley, who turned into Christopher Priest later on, he's the writer of this. It felt like a filler issue, or an annual issue. You have them trying to, like, it opens with Power Man and Iron Fist like guarding a kid, and it's Power Man saying like, yeah, I don't care for kids. But then it ends with Power Man, I guess, liking kids by the end of the book or whatever. It felt like a very soap opera-ish, but I don't know, not soap opera-ish, but very TV movie of the week. Just da da da, like very cheesy. And not just that, but not so. When I say the art is stilted, you have Greg LaRocque on certain pages, then you have a very bland and generic art style as well in certain pages, and it's like, what is going on here? And it's not the best.
All right, and hey, some of these are going to be good, some of them are going to be just meh, and some of them are just going to be downright bad. So
yeah.
Hey, they're not all going to be winners, so that's fair.
Yeah.
I'll go over some of the ones that I read. I read The Mighty Avengers. Like I said, this is from 1984, September 1984. And this was cool. This was Avengers 250 double size, double team excitement. Ooh, double team. All right. Ooh. I'm here for that. Whoa, double team. So we have the Avengers have found out that the rotation of the Earth is actually slowing down because of the likes of this villain here, and I'm blanking on his name. Maelstrom. His name is Maelstrom, and Maelstrom is slowing down the Earth so much so that the rotation of the Earth will stop, and one side of the Earth will completely burn up and melt away, and the other side of the Earth will be a frozen tundra and a wasteland. Because if it stops, then the sun will only hit one side of the Earth, right? For however many years.
Once they be internal darkness. Yeah.
So interesting concept. We've got Maelstrom, who's kind of controlling all of this, and you've got the Avengers West Coast team plus the regular Avengers team plus Captain Marvel, but not Nova. What's her name? Photon Captain Marvel. Yeah. I think.
Oh, hey Max, I'm gonna be right back. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sounds good. And so this was a lot of fun. Like I said, giant-sized issue, so this was more bang for your buck. The only thing was that I don't know. The characterization of Captain Marvel here was a little odd. She gets terrified by Maelstrom, so much so that she doesn't want to go back and fight him. But the Avengers at one point say, like, it's better that we don't bring her with us because then she could be potentially a liability and could get someone hurt. But they bring her with them anyway. And it's like, wait, no, but she could legitimately be a liability. So I kind of found that interesting. But the characterizations of everyone is really thought-provoking.
It's okay. It's gonna be cool. You're coming with.
I don't know why they decided to do that. Well, I know why they had to do that, because the writer wanted her to have her redemption, and her redemption arc comes from when Maelstrom tries to kill Tigra or whatever her name is. Here he is at full force. Got a little Kirby crackle here. But yeah, he tries to kill the this girl, this one. And as he does that, Captain Marvel's like, I will not let you kill my friend. Here she is saying, no. And so she finally gains the courage to gain her star power and fight back. So I understand why they brought her to have kind of a character arc, but at the same time, I was like, would you bring her? Because she is technically a liability. I don't know. But yeah, this was fun. Conan the Barbarian, also another one that was fairly fun. Honestly, I'd probably take Roberto De La Torre and Jim Zub over this story. This was just kind of a regular Conan story. This is John Buscema.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. So still, classic John Buscema. He's still crushing it. Still fantastic artwork. The story or the script by Michael Fleischer. Yeah, Michael Fleischer was fine. Nothing to write home about. Conan and his friend Redbeard steal a precious mirror or an amulet from this cult. They try and kill them, but they realize that the mirror has actually fallen to the hands of this pretty woman down here, and the mirror is actually has entrapped the soul of a sorceress, who then puts her entity into the young woman who looked into the mirror, and Conan and Redbeard have to find out how to save her while also killing the sorceress. So, while also having the crazy religious dragon cult following them and trying to kill them. So, action, adventure, swashbuckling. What more could you ask for in a Conan comic? So, it was fun.
Cool.
G.I. Joe was okay. Lots of moving pieces here. I like Larry Hama's writing a lot, but there were just a lot of different moving parts here where I was just like, I don't know if I'm necessarily following. So I read it, but it was fine. But Uncanny X-Men, man, this was fantastic. Chris Claremont writing, he just gets it, man. He just absolutely gets these characters. The dialogue is so perfect. Everything seems so well done, and everyone is well spoken and like speaks as the character. Yeah, you also get Magic being an absolute badass in this comic, which Magic in current Marvel continuity is kind of like a girl boss cringe lord, whereas Magic in this book, she actually has like way more agency, and I like her characterization a lot more. So yeah, this was
wait a minute.
of fun.
I think this issue. I think these are the bad guys from the ROM series. I think these are like those alien.
Oh,
yeah. I think this is what the alien. These alien creep things are. They're from the ROM series that eventually came from Marvel.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I did not get that. I didn't know what these like creepy, weird shadow figures were. But
yeah, it's this was a crossover because they had the ROM property at the time, and these bad guys were from the ROM series.
Okay, I do like how Forge kills in this issue.
Yeah.
So Forge kills in this issue. Storm does not have her powers, and
already been depowered.
This is JRJR. And
Dan Green on the inks. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's some good art here, but there are times where I'm like, that JRJR. Like when you see him on Amazing Spider-Man, you go like, oh man, what's going on? But yeah, no, for the most part, this was good. I got to tell you that this conversation between Nightcrawler and Professor X, oh boy, Chris Claremont really knows how to write dialogue, man, and conversation. Like he just, the approach stuff was so much, yeah, and they approach stuff with so much respect and dignity and honor. It just feels so much better than like the over the head lecturing that you currently get. Robert says Wraiths. Yes, thank you, Robert.
Yep.
And Jack Frost says, I've disliked JRJR since this stint on X-Men. Still don't like him. I can see that, man. I totally get it. I really have liked his Punisher Warzone, but I'm looking at his like X-Men stuff, and it's like, ugh, this face is like, ugh. I'm not a fan of that. But I don't know. Did you ever like him on X-Men, Drew?
He's not my favorite X-Men artist. He's not the worst X-Men artist. He's okay. He did a decent job. He was a good fill-in artist for when he was on there as the artist.
Yeah.
He did fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've gotten worse. But honestly, like you brought up earlier, I think he really shined on the Punisher Warzone. That's where he really let it all out.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I will say my only complaint about this book is it is a bit girl bossy. I hate to say that because it's 1984, so no one probably like saw it as that at the time. But I'm just it always fascinates me that you have these strong female characters, but they're not depicted as like whammon. You know what I mean? They're not depicted as like overbearing or cringe or insufferable. Like they actually have great characterization and they're represented well. So it does feel a little girl bossy, but at the same time, I think it's just because we read so much of that you instinctively are like, oh boy, here comes another girl boss. But I have to remember, like in 1984, this was like, which is also kind of why I, whenever people go, oh, there's never representation in comics, I'm like, then you've never read a comic book before. Like, that's crazy.
You've never read X-Men before, clearly.
Clearly, absolutely never read X-Men. Because like the women in this book have the forefront of, like, I'd say a good percentage of the action and a good percentage of the conversations here. So yeah. But those are the books that I read from 1984. Avengers, Conan, G.I. Joe, and Uncanny X-Men. I'd probably say Uncanny was my favorite, and then probably Avengers after that. So let's get to the main event of the evening. The main event of the evening. From the asses. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Ashes. A new beginning. Wolverine. Drew, how'd you feel about the newest Wolverine book? This is what, our 13th Wolverine book?
Right around there.
In like
unlucky
2 months?
Months? Unlucky 13. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I felt this was incredibly boring, incredibly low T, and the complete wrong approach for a Wolverine #1. This is a big
low
letdown.
T. Look at that. That's not low T. That's high T, baby, right?
He's running. Good for him.
Yeah, he's running. Here he goes.
He's running.
But Cyber.
We got Cyber back.
We got Cyber back.
We do. But one, he's carrying a gun. Why? I don't know. Two, he's not psychotic as he was before, which is complete wrong approach. He's just written like generic bad guy in this.
Yeah.
Complete generic bad guy. Three, it's like he's made out of adamantium, and his claws, his adamantium tipped fingers are poisoned, filled with like hallucinogen poisons. He doesn't use those at all. Why? I don't understand. And he's and then you have Nightcrawler in here. It just, this was not what I wanted. This is the complete misfire of the complete wrong approach to tell the story.
What did you think about the hug here?
It's like, oh, okay, Kurt, you haven't seen him in a week? You're gonna give him a hug?
Yeah.
It's like, it hasn't been that long, buddy. It's not like you haven't seen him in like 2, 3, 5 years. Jesus.
Right.
You saw him 2 weeks ago. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like the banter between them, I guess. I don't know. I like the art in the book. I think the art looks good. I think it's pretty solid. But you're right in that this is just, it's so safe. Like nothing about this has any courage or takes any chances or goes out of its way to really, like, showcase like the berserker rage or like some really great fight scene or an incredible set of character work between Wolverine and Cyber. Like there's just nothing really there.
Exactly. I mean, case in point with Cyber. Cyber is one of my favorite villains from the 90s when I was a kid. And he infamously in one of the issues where Wolverine lost his adamantium, Cyber, he slashed him. He made Wolverine start hallucinating. But on top of that, he snapped Logan's claws in one hand. He snapped his bone claws.
Yeah, we'll pull that comic up after this. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. You could see how much physically larger he was in that, but how much more of a looming presence in this. And like, you look at Cyber in this, he's very undersized, and it felt very wrong. The wrong approach for the character Cyber. Everything was wrong. And it felt like with this, it felt like Saladin had two two plots here. He felt like he had something here with Nightcrawler, but then he had like another plot he wanted to do with Saber. And I'm like, choose one or the other. What are you going to go with, man? Don't take both of these. Have it be about Saber, or have this Friday, this after school special it's comic with Nightcrawler. It just in this fight with Saber, it's not very graphic. It's like this is it. That's all the blood you're going to get. And that's as graphic as it's going to get, and which is a shame.
Yeah,
and
even
Saber runs away. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh yeah, no, this is wild. Yeah,
this is stupid. This is someone who has no clue who Saber is. Saber would never do that. Saber would have stabbed the shit out of him. Wolverine would be hallucinating right now. None of this makes any sense at all. Period.
I just thought it was it's just boring, man. It's bland, it's safe, it's corporate, it's all that stuff. It just, nothing about this felt special or interesting. And to your point, I think I texted you earlier, this is your number one new revamp Wolverine book. You shouldn't be waiting till like issue 2, 3, 4, 5 to like, oh, well, wait till it gets good. It's like, no. You got to start. If you're doing a revamp of a Wolverine book, issue number 1 for From the Asses better be good. And it's just so meh. But I don't know. Would you call this a meh or skip it?
You know what? I'm going to say skip it. It was not worth it.
Yeah.
No, because case in point, there are 2 other Wolverine books that, I mean, one of which is marginally better. Another one is way better than this. I say the one that's marginally better is the Hickman and Capullo one. And the one that's even better than both these books is the Chris Claremont Edgar Salazar book, which is fantastic.
I love that book. Yeah, the Chris Claremont Edgar Salazar book is like, that's probably my favorite Wolverine right now.
Yeah.
And then the Capullo one, it's not anything to write home about.
No.
But it's better than this.
Yes, it is.
Marginally. So what did you think about the like human doctor who she's like saving Nightcrawler's life, and Wolverine goes to like check in on him, and he's like hold on, Elf, I'm coming. And she goes, just in time, your friend finally woke up. Don't blame your friends for taking off, scary situation, but thanks for sticking with him. I'm a effing doctor. I took an effing oath. Anyway, I've done all I can for him. Try not to let him die, huh? You got it. Like,
what? Trust me, Max. These 2 panels, have been burned in the back of my retinas for the last 48 hours, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck is going on here? It's like, are we supposed to be laughing after that? That's that next panel. Why is she an absolute bitch out of nowhere? And none of it's explained.
It comes out of nowhere, and that was my point exactly. Is like, whoa, what happened? Like, where is this coming from? I was just so confused. Yeah, it's like she had like some sort of weird Tourette's or something that just had to, I don't know. But Jack Frost, you are 100% correct. The page layouts are excruciatingly boring. And that's why I said this is like, it's inoffensively offensive. It's like, it's offensive how inoffensive it is. It's just boring, bland, generic, corporatized Wolverine, the comic book, if you wanted to put it into AI.
Yeah, really. I mean, it's a very safe, bland, generic Wolverine comic. You're going to get nothing exciting out of this, nothing shocking, nothing enthralling, nothing to make you want to come back as compared to the Chris Claremont book.
Yeah, that Chris Claremont book is really something. I'm liking that one a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go back to 1994.
Oh, fuck yes.
93.
Primetime, baby. Love it.
Prime time. So actually, before we do that, let's go back even farther. Let's go back to 91, boy,
Woo!
with our
Sam
first
Keith.
appearance. Yeah, Sam Keith on the cover.
And
Yes,
interior
sir.
of the story. Peter David
Yeah.
on the story, illustrated by Sam Keith. Hell yes.
Dude, 8 issues of this. Peter David, Sam Keith, 8 issues. Sign me up. Take my money. So this is the first appearance of Cyber. Here he is on the boat. And well, I guess it's the first cameo, if you want to call it that, but first appearance technically. But man, this Sam Keith art is something else, bro.
Dude. Oh,
Like,
man.
it's so rad. Wolvie
Yeah,
looks like an
Wolverine.
absolute animal.
Yeah, I love it. He's out there eating. He's eating naked with a wolf. I
Yeah.
love it. It's great.
And look at his tiger in Madripoor. She looks gorgeous.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. The face is great. Unhinged says Sam is the GOAT. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Love the brown suit.
Great to see
Gotta
it.
love me some brown suit. Him
Woo,
and Tiger
look at
getting
that.
a little intimate.
Ooh, yeah.
Here's Cyber again with the cool coat and the weird hat. That's the
correctness.
first issue. But then I want to show you the last issue in this series. So here's the cover. My God. So rad. Look at this. The bicep and the tricep of Wolverine is like the size of my torso.
Yeah, and you know, this is where how should I say this? There are a lot of dipshits out there in YouTube land who say like, yeah, those proportions are fucking real. They're not real. They wouldn't be. That's not how someone looks. It's not proportional. It's not realistic. No shit, Sherlock. It's an artistic interpretation of Wolverine. It is an artistic interpretation. It's of a fictional character. All right, it's fucking art. It's not supposed to be a photorealistic. You want a photo? Go make a fucking photo. This is what being a cartoonist and an artist is all about. He is a king of cartooning.
And I actually think that Sam Keith is one of my favorite Wolverine artists. Like you've got Adam and Andy Kubert, you've got Mark Silvestri, but I think you've got Mark Teixeira. But Sam Keith's Wolverine, man, it's something else.
Yes, it is something else. I love it. Oh man, Cyber, I love it. Now that is really Cyber right there.
Yeah. So here's the Cyber and Wolverine fight that you're looking for.
Yes.
Look at that blood.
Oof.
Chomp. Girl.
Look at like a chomp.
Took it like a chomp. But yeah, they're just getting after it, man. Just absolutely going nuts. And then the wolf gets involved too. But yeah, this was so much fun to like go back and read. Oh, Wolverine is absolutely demolished. Just scars and scrapes and cuts. Yeah. So then let's get to the Wolverine series, because this was Marvel Comics Presents Wolverine. So now let's get to Wolverine issue 79, where Cyber comes back, and we're getting some Adam Kubert art and Larry Hama on the script. So Wolverine now has his bone claws, doesn't have his adamantium no more.
He's having a hard time healing. And
yep.
Love that. That's when we introduced the shook.
Yeah, it's no more Snicket. Yeah.
Yeah. Love it.
It's now like guttural and gory, instead of a clean Snicket.
Every time he pops the claws, he's bleeding and he can't stop bleeding now. So we've got them all bandaged up. Oh, there he is.
There he is. Look at how intimidating he looks. Yeah. The weird trench coat and hat combo. So once Cyber meets Wolvie, though, man, this art is great. They get after it, and oh boy,
there it is.
They start fighting, and look, you can see just how massive he is comparatively to Wolverine.
Yeah.
And I think this is where he ends up breaking his claws.
Yes.
It's either 79 or 80.
Yep.
Oh,
there he
look
is,
at
popping the
that.
claws. Yeah.
Yeah. Schlunk. Oh, here. Yep.
And
He just grabs him. Done for. Crunch.
Yep. Crunch.
Oh. Disgusting. Yeah, this is great, man. This is what your Cyber book should be, or your Wolverine book should be with Cyber.
And that's just it. You know, in this issue in issue 1 of Wolverine, you'd like to think Wolverine would come up against a challenge in issue 1. Wolverine really isn't challenged. He essentially beat Cyber in that first issue. Like he was nothing.
Cyber runs away.
Like a fucking like a chump.
Like a chomp.
And that pisses me off more than anything else. It's like, why was he there? I don't understand. If it's not to be a challenge, you just made one of the greatest Wolverine villains look like a jackass. And unless that was your point, but it is incredibly disappointing. And because we see here, they clearly did it better 30 years ago.
Yep. Yeah. No, I agree. I think that if you guys want to read a Cyber story, or if you guys want, oh, look at this cover. If you want to read Wolverine, actually, oh my gosh,
love it,
so
man.
Good.
Yeah, and okay, now compare and contrast this art to the new Wolverine book. It just looks very bland, basic bitch by the book art.
Yeah.
Nothing exciting, nothing dynamic, nothing popping out. It just is.
I will take Adam and Sam Keith all day. I mean, like you said, this just is, I mean, it's good art. I like it, but it's just, there, it exists, but I don't know, feels computerized, I guess, maybe, or just digitized.
Just lame.
Yeah. But like this is, like I said, this is really good. Like the artist is super talented. I'd not knocking the artist. It's just, it's tough when you're looking at stuff like this from Adam or Sam, and you're just like,
you're like,
gosh,
I want more of this.
Yeah.
Please.
Can we do more of this, please? And you got Nightcrawler in this issue too. So yeah, you know what? In chat, just read this book. Don't go read the new Wolverine. Just go read Wolverine 79 through 81. That's all you need to read. Or Marvel Presents Wolverine.
Yeah.
Marvel Comics Presents. These double page splash, man, it's just so damn good.
This is where
look at how he looks here.
Dude.
Oh my gosh.
Dude. I would just love to sit down with Adam Kubert and just talk Wolverine. All right, we're not going to, we know you've done a lot. We're just going to talk about Wolverine. We're going to talk about your Wolverine run.
Berserker, or just like, or no, this is when he was like poisoned, and maybe he's hallucinating at this point. I forget.
I think he's this Cyber has poisoned him, and he's kind of losing his humanity at this point too.
Yeah. You can tear the adamantium right out of me. You can nearly burn out my mutant healing factor, but I'm still the best at what I do. Man, the saliva and the hair, the crazy hair.
Love it.
Sick, dude. Yeah, these are such great books, man.
Oh.
Oof. Look at that face off.
Yes.
Yeah, now we're talking.
That's what we should have gotten in this. This is number 100%,
man. Yeah, this looks so rad. And I like too the way that so Adam does this thing where, like, in order to show that their teeth are gritting together, like they're really just like clamping down, he'll actually have the teeth go in, so they're like inverted in a little bit more, so they're not just straight down. They're almost like kind of, they come to a point, but it's towards the face, where he's almost got like an underbite. Like Cyber looks like he's got an underbite here, but Wolverine, you can see the two teeth kind of I don't know, coming together like a like a wedge here. But no, I love his Wolverine, man. Adam and Andy do such a great job on Wolverine.
Yeah.
And he makes Cyber like a legit threat where you're like, oh my God, how is Wolverine going to get out of this?
Yeah, because Wolverine's already gotten his ass kicked the last two
Right.
times. The first time, yeah, he barely survived. Second time, he had to escape, and this one, yeah, was like, oh God, that cover's beautiful.
That cover is so good. I love this cover, man. It's so simple, but it just evokes like just a brutal, gnarled, animalistic Wolverine. But yeah, I think that was it for Cyber in terms of he shows up in a ton of other books, but in terms of the main Wolverine title, I think that's when we start getting more towards other characters and maybe some Madripoor stuff. So, but yeah. Well, if we ever needed an excuse to not read Saladin Ahmed's Wolverine 2024, that'll do it for you. So, all right. What's next? Shall we do? We did Uncanny X-Men from 40 years ago. Let's do Uncanny X-Men from this year, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Thoughts?
Of course. So, okay, one, yes, let's set up Charles Xavier as a complete passive cuck in this book.
Beta simp
Beta male.
cuck. Yes.
Yeah. Beta.
Yeah,
so you read him in this, and you read him in the last 40 years, and like how much he's an absolute Chad of getting the ladies, regardless of being able to walk or not. And in this, it's like, wait, this is the same guy? And no, it's not the same guy at all, period. And which is total bullshit. Yeah, this.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck are we doing here? It's like, she's a girl. Oh God, what am I gonna do? I've never seen a girl before.
Did I mention I'm lonely? Oh my goodness. Oh, the day the sun shined on her beautiful face. Like he's writing in his diary. And he's just writing about like how beautiful, how I wish I could smell her through her clothes. I fancied she smelled of wildflowers and hillside. It's just like, what? Yeah, like you said, what are we doing here? What? This is an Uncanny X-Men book?
This is Charles Xavier? No,
yeah, right?
It's not.
So, yeah, this is the opening, and he's just an absolute simp for this woman. Never met her in his life, and just automatically, all right. But the real cringe, the real insufferable nature of Gail Simone's Uncanny starts with these zoomers here. Now, before I'll let you kind of give your thoughts here, Drew. But before we get into that, I want to highlight this panel right here. If you guys can see this, Rogue is like, we're seeing everything through Rogue's eyes. So we're getting her inner monologue. And she says, yesterday we were there as a mutant, a kid just died for no reason except the except for the meanness in the world.
What?
Absolute.
Certain the character had cancer. The character had cancer, right?
I'm pretty sure the character had cancer. One.
Yeah.
And two, the kid with cancer touched Rogue's hand and it killed the kid.
Yeah.
Like Rogue killed this kid, not from meanness. Like Rogue killed the cancer kid.
Yeah. If anything, you accelerated it. Rogue accelerated the kid's death.
No, yeah, no, 100%. Like, did Gail Simone just forget what happened in the last issue?
I think so. The editor didn't do their damn job.
I think that it is so stupid that she wrote, oh, it was meanness that killed them.
Well,
Not Rogue.
or maybe the editor said like, "Hey, you need to change that because that doesn't really match up with what happened in the first issue." And Gail just said, "No, we're keeping it in." And
and he just said, "Yes, ma'am."
Yeah, where are my breadsticks?
Alejandro, more breadsticks. Oh man! All right. So, what do we have to say about this group of Zoomers? I mean, what is there to say? I mean, how do you even introduce?
They're amazing. They're amazing. They're uncanny. They wipe the floor with the X-Men.
That's true, actually. Yeah, that's a good point.
They're the new Poochie the Rockin' Dogs. You know, they're very happening dudes.
They basically deck Wolverine.
Yeah,
this panel's been burned into my freaking retinas the whole week. Some rando just decks the heck out of Wolverine
and doesn't break his hand.
No, yeah, that's where I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah,
and Wolverine just takes it.
Yes,
dude. Then Horse Girl, who's not actually a mutant but gains her powers from the horse. The horse is a mutant. I can't make this up. Oh. And then an autistic retard that has like spasms. So the whole comic, she is constantly tisming and is like, focus today, Junior. She has, what is it, Tourette's, or she stutters, but she absolutely wipes the floor with Gambit.
Because she's a rockin' dude. She's a very happening dude.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, they're so much more better than the X-Men. Holy crap.
Whoa. These young Zoomers are way cooler than the Uncanny X-Men. So that happens. That nonsense and belligerence happens. Then we get back to Simp. Xavier, and she goes, "Take off your beanie," and he's like, "Well, it was a nice fantasy while it lasted." She's like, "Oh, actually, I love bald people," or something. I don't know.
Was this written by Larry David? What the hell?
I have no clue what this is about. There's a plot, which is the Uncanny X-Men meet Zoomers. There's the B plot, which is the X-Mansion is going to be taken over by this woman who wants to make it into a prison. And the C plot is Simp Professor Xavier?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, but it's all right, because the X-Men come back and they're like, all right, let's teach you a lesson. And who stops them? Jubilee.
Yeah.
By shooting off some fireworks.
Yeah, who saves everyone? Who saves the day? Who comes in as the rational adult even though they're a fucking kid? Jubilee. Yeah.
Jubilation herself. So then the Rogue tells the boys, Wolverine and Gambit, to go talk the kids down, which makes no sense. If anything, Wolverine and Gambit should be devising the plan while the girls, Rogue and Jubilee, go talk down the teens. Like, why would you get the hothead, Wolverine, and the cocky sumbitch, Gambit, to go talk down the children and be like, listen, guys, chill. That's not a good idea. But Rogue is like, you fellas need to go talk these kids down, all right? Find out what's got them spooked. You're a terrible leader, Rogue. That is not what should happen.
Jesus.
And then we get Call Me Jitter. This panel looks like something from New Warriors. Does it not?
Yeah. No, it does. And we're just waiting. Yeah, we just need the static panels of them saying, hey, I'm Jitter. I could do this. I can do that. I like this. I don't like that.
I'm an autistic retard that can change time as I jitter. Ransom, who we don't know whose powers are. I am but a death dream. And then Calico, only I'm not a mutant. All right. And these are our stunning and brave new Uncanny X-Men, guys. Woo!
Yep, there's a new team.
Yeah. I like this face of Rogue. I like the artist, how he does Rogue. But other than that, I mean, there's nothing redeemable about this comic. I hated everything about this.
Oh, and there's the girl that Xavier was hanging out with.
Yeah, wouldn't you know, Sarah is this demonic witch thing that is also the same Sarah that Professor Xavier was simping for in the earlier panels here. So, who would have thought? Which, like, at the end, I was like, okay. Normally, your splash page should be like, whoa, or your final page. And this one, I was just kind of like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. We're done here? Oh, okay.
All right. So that's an absolute skip it for me. Probably the worst of the week, honestly. That was bad.
Oof. Yeah, that's right up there. Yeah.
Up there with Venom War Wolverine, which I did read, but I won't make you go through that because that was bad. Did you read the amazing Steve Spitterman?
No, I did not.
Oh, you did not. All right, that's fair. What we'll do is we'll just show it.
Okay.
It wasn't worse than the last issue, I'll say that. But I will say, this cover is awful. I cannot believe that this is an actual Spider-Man cover.
What is he?
He's like standing, or he's squatting on the chair. How tiny is he?
According to that, it looks like he'd be about 5'4", 5'5".
No, like 4'9". Like, I don't understand. And Tombstone looks like, what is this? What is going on with his hand? Oh my god. This is just so bad. And there's like no action on this cover. It's just it's a static pose. It's just so like, oh, this is terrible.
You're just talking on phones. Hey, what you thinking?
What you thinking?
Wait, you called me.
You showed up to my jail cell. Yeah, JR, this is not his finest hour, I will say. Not his finest hour.
There are a lot of things that are not his finest day, finest hour.
Yeah, correct. But yeah, I mean, we do get this happening, which to me is just so funny because I imagine like Spider-Man walking into the precinct in his Spider-Man costume and him just being like, "Hi, yep, hello, I'm Spider-Man, hello." Like, would he really just sit down and in the middle of a jail and just take a phone call with Tombstone? I don't know.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have any mass vigilantes running around here, so I can't really.
Yeah, I can't say. But yeah, Tombstone basically gets put out or gets put on bail. So he makes bail. He's out of jail, and he is trying to get to his daughter, who put him in jail in the first place from, what is it? Oh, Gang War, which I can't believe I remember that from Gang War. But basically, yeah, Tombstone wants to kill his daughter, and so Spider-Man has to try and stop him by having this elaborate, plan of attack. But Tombstone actually double crosses him and actually beats him to the punch. And now he's going to kill his daughter. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. So that's that. But did you read Spider-Man Reign too?
Oh, yes, I did. I fucking love this.
Really? Oh wow. Okay,
yes,
please
I loved it.
elaborate.
So when this issue opens up, this is the best love letter to Todd McFarlane I have seen since Todd McFarlane. How he
Ooh, the
illustrates the
Venom.
pages. Oh my God. You would have thought it was Todd McFarlane. And but the big reveal toward the end, I love it. Look at that.
This looks so good. Yeah.
Would you just look at it?
Would you just look at it? Carrie Andrews just crushing it, man. And then especially when he does, like when he actually draws Venom in here, when he saves that woman. Oh, and MJ looks amazing. It just
MJ's a knockout.
Yeah. She's got them Gucci bags. Oh, wow. My wife. Yeah, the big eyes, the big McFarlane eyes.
Love it.
But yeah, these knuckleheads steal her bags, and she's like, "Not the Gucci." So she goes running after him. But guess who's right behind him, about to take him out? Oh yeah, baby.
Love it.
Look at that Venom.
Love that Venom.
The symbiote's inside me. But yeah, these guys get absolutely demolished. So much so that Venom rams this guy into the wall, and the guy says, "I can't feel my legs," as he breaks his neck. I was like, "Oh my God, this is intense."
Extreme.
So after this, though, Drew, this is where I don't know how I felt about this, and I want to get your take. But after this, I was like, I don't know if I necessarily like where this is going. Because when we find out what happens to Peter in this panel, I don't know. Are we saying that Peter took his own life?
No, we're saying that Venom killed him. That's what it's a Venom. So we're seeing that it's discovered later on that Peter, he's kept going back trying to fix things. He's kept going back trying to right the wrongs of the past, and it hasn't worked, and none of it has worked. He's kept trying to save Mary Jane, and unfortunately he's at this one time where Mary Jane is Venom now. Mary Jane has a symbiote, and Peter's done fucked up too many times apparently.
I guess so. Yeah, because if he keeps coming back with all these different iterations of Peters, apparently, I guess now MJ is saying that the Peter of a different dimension or time came to her universe and killed her Peter. Is that what I'm understanding correctly? I think.
Or just that due to Peter constantly going back trying to fix the past, this changed thing. This was a repercussion of it.
Okay. Because I thought it was that Peter had taken his own life, because it says, "I'm sorry, MJ loved Peter," and he's got like a note in his hand. I thought that he had taken his own life, and that MJ got so mad at him for being so selfish that that's why she got so angry. See, because she goes, "Peter, I hate you." Or is it because Peter continues to mess with her life because he keeps trying to come back and fix the past?
I think it's because I think it's because of that. So yeah, Max, I did not take it as Peter committed suicide. Honestly, it could be read that way.
Okay.
It could be. It absolutely could be. But I took it as Venom killed him. I took it as Venom was in there earlier, snapped his neck, left the note, and but maybe Peter did. But it didn't. If I'll say this, if they wanted to show that Peter had killed himself, it would have like he hanged himself in the room or something. But
maybe.
But it's hard. Just he's sitting there on a chair with the neck snapped. It's like, okay, I would have thought Venom snapped his neck.
But see, if I see him in the chair with a note, I'm automatically assuming, Minecraft letter, or I'm assuming that. And then the other thing too was he said, "I'm sorry, MJ, love Peter." So it was premeditated, where he knew something was going to happen. That maybe I thought he might have taken his own life. I don't know, but yeah, chat. What do you guys think? Did you read this? Did y'all? Because I can see it interpreted as both ways. Because I could then see how, oh, you know what? Maybe Venom did kill Peter. I don't know. But yeah, so in this timeline, though, MJ does have the Venom symbiote, and she's kind of in charge of the Sinister Six here. You've got Shocker, I almost said Killer Croc. You've got Morbius. Who else we got?
Morbius. You got Prowler. You got the Lizard.
The Lizard, yeah. Looks awesome, man. I mean, this splash page, Carrie's art is just fantastic, man. Yeah, these action scenes look spectacular. And Peter gets pretty much strung up by these villains.
Gets his ass handed to him. Yeah.
Yeah. And the only one that's going to come by is Miles. And Miles finds him, and he's like, and he kind of breaks the news to him. He goes, "Peter, your other Peters have tried to come here to this universe multiple times, and every time they do, they make things worse." And so now Miles has to decide, do I kill this Peter and just take him out, or do I take him back to the cryo, the cryo thing where he lives in this digital universe, But this is such a great panel. This is such a great page. Man, yeah, the kinetic energy just in all of his artwork just looks fantastic.
Yeah. Krang.
So yeah, I don't know. This is definitely a recommend. Is this one of your top books for the week?
That's tough to say. I would. It's on lower end of recommendations, but seriously, the art is worth the price of admission alone, especially with early pages where it really evokes Todd McFarlane.
Oh yeah. Super good stuff. How can anyone rate this book anything above a 40? This was awful. ASM. What'd you think about Transformers? I think you read this one, yeah?
Yeah, I had a blast with this one. I literally enjoyed this one. The stakes are an all-time high. Cybertron's getting ready to pretty much take over the Earth or destroy the Earth, and it's pretty much up to Optimus to stop it from happening. And there may or may not be a few roadblocks in the way to keep that from happening. And I love the different characters in here. I love what's going on with Cliffjumper and RC and the other female Transformer. And I love the stuff with Soundwave and Shockwave. And the illustrations in this by Corey Corona are beautiful. Yeah, this is a beautiful book. I had a blast.
Hell yeah. I did not have the fortunate nature of getting to read this. But I cannot wait to get my hands on this because this cover is absolutely gorgeous. So super stoked to read this. But yeah, I'm bummed I didn't get to read it this week. Yeah.
I got the B cover. I got the Cliffjumper face cover.
Ooh. Jorge Corona. Very nice. Yeah. That looks sick. That's awesome, man. What did Wolverine get? A 94. I'll give it 2 stars. Is that fair? 2 stars?
Yeah, I'd say so.
One. I don't know if it's a 1 star.
No, it's not a 1 star. It's just bare, basic, bland, safe,
Yeah.
and that's not what you want with the Wolverine book.
And yet, I would agree with you. I'm gonna skip it. Like, it's a meh book, but I would still skip it. Like, don't spend your money on the new Wolverine book. It's not worth it. And I know you liked Geiger and Ain't No Grave, Space Ghost. You said you'd recommend.
Yep, Space Ghost. Yep.
Spider-Man 2. Oh man, yeah, people don't like this book that much. I'll give it a 3.5. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Jeff feel.
This was awful though. This barely deserves half a star. But I mean, this is what I mean. It's like this really great cover. It's like, man, this cover looks awesome. This is so cool. And then if you were to see the interior art, it's a joke. Oh, and Tim Seeley wrote it, so that's probably why too.
I am picturing characters talking at great length in every single panel and page, whether you want them to or not.
Well, Wolverine is like a pacifist now. So
oh my god.
He's at a bar and some guy nails him. Like he's playing pool and some guy like hits the ball and the ball hits Wolvie in the face. And the guy's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry." And Wolverine's like, "It's all right, kid. I'm not that kind of guy anymore." And I was like, oh my god. Okay, yep, here we go. That was embarrassing. I want to show you the interior art just for a second, and then we'll call it a night here. Here we go. Venom War. Venom. So cool cover. And then what is this?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Brother. Yeah. See, it's a kid clocks him in the face with the ball.
Wow.
And culturally diverse woman of color, which, by the way, downtown Manhattan in like a dive bar, is there going to be a woman that looks like this as the bartender?
Probably not.
I have a feeling it would be like some biker guy or some like tough breakneck New Yorker guy, right? I don't know.
Man, I don't know. It just this. It looks like an artist trying to be like an Oliver Copiel and something else, and it's not working. It's just very Lionel Francis Yu and an Oliver Copiel at once, but it just doesn't work. It looks like shit.
No, like maybe this art style would work for something else, but for a Venom Wolverine book, this looks
absolutely not.
Curious George, absolutely not. He goes, "Relax, kid. I ain't like that anymore." Look at that little smile.
God.
And this freaking rising. Yeah. This Zoomer kid, he's like, "Shouldn't crowd me up, right? What you got in there? A metal plate?" Ah, damn. Nah, bro, dead ass. It's him from the Avengers. Yes, bro, and the X-Men and the X-Forces. X-Forces. Wolverine full on with the claws and the sideburns. God, I hated this book so much. And then, oh no, the Venom symbiote, and he doesn't even hit him with his claws. He hits him with the pool cue.
Oh, God damn it!
This sucked so hard. And then he gets turned into a Venom biote, a Wolverine biote.
Yeah, it just makes me angry.
Yeah, so bad. Oh, and then I forgot that this dad is like an abusive father, to like his wife and child. And he goes, Emily, damn it, I told you, you don't ever punish my son. Trying to make him weak. My son grown up terrified of girls tugging on mommy's skirt softer than fish gut. You think a cowering little wimp like that can take over this family business? Because if it ain't flying, who's it going to be? You with your soft little brain? It's like, oh yeah, we get it. We get it. He's a misogynist, like sexist, mean, toxic male. Boo.
Which means right away he's going to be dead.
Yep. Watch this, son. This is how a man is supposed to act. Okay, discount Steven Seagal. And then Wolverine cuts his fingers off and then cuts his hand off. It's like, okay. Thanks. And then, oh no, he's alive again?
Dun,
Question
dun,
mark? But now he's a
dun.
symbiote venom. Yeah. This might actually be worse than the Uncanny X-Men. I'm not sure. Both were pretty bad though. So, all right. Well, I think that that just about does it for tonight. But before we head out, I want to say a big thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you guys for supporting. And one more time, just so we can show it off, I'm going to show off Drew's project here with TCM Press, the Comic Mint. He's going to be working on Silent Nights, Depths of Valor, and we know and love this title that he's already been on, Unholy Nightmare, but now is going to be published through TCM. And we've got some really great books for you guys coming out here from Drew and Aaron, and we are so thankful to have them on tonight. So, Drew, thank you again for hanging with us, and I'm glad that we got to hear more about each one of these books, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad I was able to answer your questions about this, and I'm hoping people in the chat. I'm hoping everyone in the chat is going to give this a shot. So like I said, we got 3 vastly different books out here for everyone to check out. If you don't like one, you should be able to like another one, or you may like all 3. But I would, if I haven't sold you yet, I would like to know what I can do to check out these books, to sign up, to find out what's going to be happening next, because there's going to be some great stuff coming down the pike as well. You don't want to miss out. Please trust me. You're going to want to sign up. You're going to want to go to the site. You're going to want to sign up with your email address and get notified, because you do not want to miss out on this. Because I guarantee you, at the time New York Comic Con runs around, you'll be on the late bus. Not going to be good.
Yeah. Amen. I like what you said the other night. You were like, how can I get you in this book today? What did you say?
Yeah, it's like, what can I do to get you in my comic books today? Yeah. Yep. What can I do? Yeah. Honestly, what can I do? What more do you want to know? Yeah, I'll gladly answer it, because I would love for everyone to check these books out.
Yeah, and you can find Drew at Dolan_Waddick on Instagram and Dolan_Waddick on Facebook. And the great thing about his social media is that he just posts his books. He posts the art. He posts the progress. He posts the covers, all that great stuff. He just talks about his creative process and his books. And I love that about his Instagram and his Facebook. So yeah, if you guys want to go check out any updates from Drew Dolan, go make sure to check him out on those socials. But anything else that I may be missing or leaving out?
Nope, that's it.
Sweet. Chat, you guys are the best. Thank you again for hanging out with us tonight. And we're going to get Kyle out here. We're going to try and get Kyle out here next weekend. Don't you worry about that. He may have missed Uncanny X-Men and the Venom Wolverine garbage, but he's not getting out that easy. We're getting him back soon. Don't you worry. So let me go ahead and take this off. But once again, the link to TCM Press is in the description as well as in the chat. So feel free to click on that and sign up for the pre-sale. But other than that, you guys, it's been a pleasure to hang out with y'all and talk comics this evening. We look forward to seeing y'all this Sunday. We'll be doing a Max's Man Cave, and I look forward to seeing you guys all there. Save the cats and keep reading comics. We'll talk to y'all soon.